A little job I want to crack on and get done now I'm home from work is to actually get my seed potatoes in the ground. Now, I actually talked to you about seed potatoes a few weeks ago when I actually started chitting my own. You don't have to buy really expensive seed potatoes from online sales and garden centres. You can actually simply use potatoes that I may have gone a little bit over in the house. These were some Maris Piper potatoes I started chitting a few weeks ago. They'd actually started to go a bit green in the house and were actually surplus to requirements. So instead of throwing them away, I've actually decided to chit them. I've cut them into large chunks and just allowed them to get some sunlight to them. I've made my opinions on growing potatoes in the past quite clear. I really don't like digging, and you can often find potatoes coming up all over your vegetable garden or your allotment in places you don't want them anymore. So I've decided this year to grow them in buckets, which is really very simple. Now you can grow potatoes either in buckets like this, in large trays or crates, or also just in whole bags of compost like the one next to me if you wanted to. Really is very simple. All you need to do is work out how many potatoes to put in each particular pot, and then when you're ready to harvest them, normally in between 16 and 20 weeks between sowing actually and harvest, you can simply take this to an open piece of ground or turn it out into your wheelbarrow, and there's no laborious digging, there's no back-breaking work, and all of your wonderful gold is laid out in front of you, ready to harvest, wash, cook and enjoy. This process couldn't be easier, and you can grow in the garden, or if you're for instance growing in a limited space on a balcony, terrace or patio, all you need is a large plastic pot. This one is around 18 inches in diameter and around 18 inches deep, and into a pot this size I'm actually going to place 3 potatoes, which are going to give me a really nice sized crop. However, if you don't have space and you only want to use pots that are slightly smaller, maybe they're only a foot in diameter, just place 1 or 2 seed potatoes in the pot and adjust them accordingly. All you need to do at this stage is take some good quality peat-free organic compost and place a layer of around 10 centimetres, which is around 4 inches across the bottom of the pot. Make sure it's nicely broken up as it goes in. One more handful and we're done. Lightly space it out and even that off. Once I've got around 4 inches or 100 millimetres, 10 centimetres of peat-free compost in the bottom of the pot, all I'm then going to do is take 3 seed potatoes and space them out evenly in the bottom of the pot, eyes facing up, which is the green bits. 1, 2, 3, and then all I'm going to do is lightly cover those over with some more peat-free compost. I don't want to bury them too deeply at this stage because we're going to do what we call earthing them up as they grow. As they produce shoots and they produce lovely long growth, as they reach around 4 or 5 inches tall, which is about 100 to 120 millimeters, we're then going to completely bury them, and we're going to continue to do that all the way up the side of the pot, meaning the potatoes are going to be having lots and lots of tubers form all the way down the stems to the very bottom of the bucket. As I say, this technique of growing in buckets couldn't be easier. Now the potatoes are covered up with around 4 inches or 100 millimeters of soil. I'm going to give them really good water. It's mild enough at the moment to keep them outside, but if there's any signs of frost, I'll just cover them up with a little bit of frost fleece. As soon as they've put on a decent amount of growth and we've got a lovely crown of green leaves above the surface of the soil, I say anything above 10 centimeters in height, I'm then going to cover them over again, making sure that the very tips of the plant are still have access to light, and I'm going to continue to earth them up. Potatoes are normally ready when they've just about set flower and the foliage starts to yellow off. Now with a main crop potato like Maris Piper, that's normally in around 12 to 16 weeks. So there's plenty of time for these to grow. So these are going to go into a very quiet area of the garden while I look after them for the next few weeks. And then we're going to be enjoying some potatoes in about 16 weeks time.